Assalamu alaikum friends, and welcome to my new video on FEL AMR, the commanding verbs. And this is the last tense in the Arabic language after learning past tense, the present tense, and now comes the commanding verbs or the FEL AMR. And before I go into detail, let me tell you this is very easy. We don't have to go into three cases as we did in the previous video about the present tense. We will just learn step by step how to make the commanding verbs from the past tense. So let's start with the video. Before starting with the fail amr, now let's remember about the three tenses as I discussed in my previous videos about the three tenses. First of all, the fail madi, which is mabni. And mabni in the sense because it does not change a structure or the haraka in any case in a position, in any position in a sentence. But when you see fail mudare, and if you remember in my previous video about the fail mudare, it goes into three cases or position in a sentence. For example, it can be a marfu, it can be a mansub, or it can be a majzoom. So you can see the changes of haraka from dhamma to fatha to sukun in majzoom case. It keeps on changing. So that's why it is called morab. Morab means something that can change. Now coming to fail amr, you will see again it is mabni. It does not change its structure, though you will see the addition of the damirs with the command verbs, but that doesn't mean it changes its structure. It's still mabni. So let's talk about what is fail amr and how the fail amr is formed from different kinds of past tense. So we will do a lot of different past tense, for example, from triliteral to 4-letter to 5-letter to 6 letters. Inshallah, it will be easy. So now let's check the what is fail amr. What do you understand by a command verb? A command verb by meaning is asking to fulfill an action from a person in front of you in the present time. The command is not done in the future or in the past. It is only done in the present time. And you can command a person right in front of you, that is, you can command the second person. And one thing I would like to add here is that you may find some command verbs for the third person and for the first person mutakallim also, but that is something we will learn in the higher grammar, so I'm not going into detail. Now, a command can be called as a request or talab. When is it called a talab? When the command is from the lower rank to the higher rank. For example, if a student asks something from a teacher, so it becomes a request or talab. And one more thing I would like to add is in Quran, when you see when a request is made to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it becomes a dua. So now let's see how the command verbs are formed. How do we form a command verb? In English, you can call as imperative. Imperative means the command verbs. It is usually formed from the present tense. But I would like to say that in order to form a present tense, you should know what is the past tense. So by seeing the present tense, you should also have the knowledge of the past tense, because all the present tense are formed from the past tense. So all the game starts with the past tense. So there are a few simple steps in making a command verb. First of all, whenever you see a present tense, you need to remove the harf mudare. Remember the harf mudare anaitu. So you need to remove, if you see these harf mudare, and then you need to add hamzatul wasl. So there is a small important point here about the Hamzatul Wasl and the Hamzatul Qata, and I'm not going into detail. It's just that where you see the Hamzatul Wasl, you have to continue reading, and dropping the Hamzatul Wasl is cancelled, while in the Hamzatul Qata you need to stop and read the Hamza. So if you don't recognize what is Hamzatul Wasl and what is Hamzatul Qata, just know that a Hamzatul Wasl will be sitting on an alif. This is probably the seat of the Hamzatul Wasl. And you will see a half sod over this alif. So our main letter is this. This sod tells you that this is a Hamzatul Wasl. And Hamzatul Qata will be sitting on the alif, but you will see a small Hamza sitting over it. So our main letter is the Hamza. And the alif on which it is sitting is just a seat. So don't get confused about it. So now let's see what are the steps of forming the command verb. Now here let's understand how to make a command verb from the past tense. As I told you, everything starts from the past tense. So here I have taken a very easy past tense here as dhahaba. So if your step starts from making from the past tense, you make the present tense. So as soon as you make the present tense, the changes of harakas happen. There is a harf mudare here, and there you can see a sukoon on the dal, fatha on the ha, and a dhamma over the ba. So when you're making a command verb, you need to keep an eye on the harakas. Your second step is removing the harf mudare. So when you delete or remove the harf mudare ya from the present tense, you are left with the dal, ha and ba. Still you have the same harakas, sukoon, fatha and the dhamma. So now the third step comes in and you add in the hamzatul wasl. So in standard Arabic, Hamzatul Wasal is written as an alif only. You will not see a small sad sitting over it. It is because of the difference of script in the standard Arabic and the Uthmani script in the Quran. Still, it is a Hamzatul Wasal. So you add in or bring in the Hamzatul Wasal, add with the three letters. So now you have the structure of the command verb. Still, there are changes in the harakas. Don't be quick on giving the harakas. So you have your structure as alif or the Hamzatul Wasal, I should say. Zal with the sukoon, ha with the fatha, and ba I have left it alone without any harakas because there is a change of haraka here. But I have marked ha, the third letter from the Hamzatul Wasal. Now after the addition of the Hamzatul Wasal, remember, after the addition of the Hamzatul Wasal, check the third letter. So what is your third letter after the addition of the Hamzatul Wasal? So Hamzatul Wasal is the first letter, Zal is the second letter, and the Ha becomes the third letter. Remember, count from the Hamzatul Wasal. And you see that the third letter is having a Fatha. So the third letter, Haraka, decides what Haraka you will give to the Hamzatul Wasal. So this becomes our fourth step. Now, when this is decided that the ha or the third letter has a fatha, remember the Hamzatul Wasl will get a kasra. Remember this. So I have marked here ha as the third letter. So this will get a kasra below the Hamzatul Wasl. And this is your last step. And now you give a kasra below the Hamzatul Wasl. The zal will still have a sukoon. If I can just remove the numbers from the above, you can see the zal is having a sukoon over it. The ha is still having a fatha over it, the third letter here, and ba. Now, since it is a command verb, the ba will have a sukoon over it. And all the command verbs at the end, the last letter will have a sukoon over it. And now you will read it as izhab with the kasra below the hamzatul wasl. So you need to check the third letter. If the third letter has a fatha, the hamzatul wasl will have a kasra. If the third letter, now remember this, if the third letter has a kasra, for example, here in this example, jalasa, if the third letter has a kasra, the hamzatul wasl will have a kasra. And the third one, in this example, kataba, if the third letter has a dhamma, the hamzatul wasl will have a dhamma. So now, let's check the next example as kataba. So the moment you have your past tense, first step is to make into present tense. Yaktubu. Keep in mind the harakas. The kaf has a sukoon, ta has a dhamma, and ba has a dhamma here. So the second step is removing the harf mudare. So you have your three letters with sukoon, dhamma on the ta, and dhamma on the ba. So third step is bringing in the hamzatul wasl. So the moment you add the hamzatul wasl with the three letters, you have your command structure. With the hamzatul wasl, kaf with sukoon, ta with dhamma, and ba, I have left it alone with no haraka, because in the command you need to give a sukoon on the last letter. And you will do that in your fourth step. So the fourth step with the hamzatul wasl, how do I know that the hamzatul wasl will be having a dhamma? Check the third letter. So here we have a third letter. First is hamzatul wasl. Count from the hamzatul wasl. Second is kaf, and the third is the ta. So the ta is having a dhamma. The hamzatul wasl will have a dhamma over it. So we have our command verb as uktub with the last letter sukoon over it. So this is how you make your command verbs. Now the third example here is jalasa. Now I took this example jalasa because in this example we have a kasra on the third letter. So this decides the haraka of the hamzatul wasl. So from jalasa need to make it into present tense yajlisu. So check the haraka. Jim with sukoon, lam with kasra, and sin with dhamma. So the second step is removing the harf mudare. So you got your three letters, still the third letter is having a kasra. Now the third step is bringing in the hamzatul wasl. We have a structure, hamzatul wasl, jim with sukoon, lam with kasra, and sin, I have left it alone. So the fourth step is giving the haraka on the hamzatul wasl. Check the third letter. If it has a kasra, the hamzatul wasl will have a kasra. So remember, fatha and kasra will give hamzatul wasl only kasra. And if the third letter has a dhamma, it will give the hamzatul wasl as a dhamma. So this is how, and giving a sukoon over the last letter when you form the command verb. So this is from jalasa, it becomes ijlis. Now let's see the making of the command verb of the triliteral verb, that is the fi'l sulathi, and the scale is fa'ala. So in this case, now you know the steps. First of all, from the present tense, you make it into the present tense. For example, fataha, yaftahu. Check the harakas, and in the here you will have your amr as iftah. So why did the hamzatul wasl got a kasra? Check the third letter, which is the ta. It has a fatha. So the hamzatul wasl will have a kasra. Remember, if the third letter has a fatha or a kasra, the hamzatul wasl is getting a kasra only. And now here I have given more examples as kharaja, sami'a, rakiba. So in this case, from kharaja we have yakhruju. And if you check the third letter, we have a dhamma. So our command verb will have a dhamma on the hamzatul wasl. It will be ukhruj. And you follow the 4 steps and remove the dhamma from jim and give a sukoon. Ukhruj. From samia you will form as isma. So now you know why it is having a kasra on the hamzatul wasl, because we have a fatha on the third letter and we give a sukoon on the last letter. Isma, listen. Rakiba, yarkabu. So we have yarkabu. So we have a fatha over the kaf. So what will be the haraka on the hamzatul wasl? It will be irkab. irkab, and giving a sukun on the ba. So this is how you form the the command verbs. Now in this scale, af'ala, you will see there are certain changes in the harakas and the structure. So usually the scale af'ala is formed from the fail sulasi, and in this structure you will see there is an extra letter, that is a hamzatul qata, in the structure of the past tense. So in this four-letter verb, you will see that there is already a hamzatul qata present in the structure here. As you can see, arsala, akhbara, akhraja, aslama, ahdara. The moment you form the present tense, so what is happening? Check the harf mudare, it has a dhamma. And check the second last letter, which is the sin, having a kasra. So these are the two main changes which happens the moment you make it into present tense. So whatever af'ala scale verbs come, the moment you see this scale verb, remember you need to make a present tense and the structure will be the same. Fail mudare having a dhamma, and the second last letter of the fail will always be having a kasra here. And in order to make the command, the hamzatul qata will come back and the structure remains the same. And what is the only change that has happened? That is the sukun over the lam, and the lam loses its dhamma, as now it has become a command. So I have given you here this stepwise. The first step is to make it into present tense. Remember, the harf mudare having a dhamma, second last letter will have a kasra, and the ra, as you know, it will have a sukun, and the last letter will have a dhamma. So the second step is removing the harf mudare. You know, ya is a harf mudare, so you delete it and you get your three-letter mudare, that is ra with sukun, sin, which is the second last letter. Remember, this is very important, and the lam with dhamma. Remember the harakas. Now you, in the third step, bring in the hamzatul qata. Remember, in forming commands, either you add hamzatul wasl or you add hamzatul qata. So in case of the four letter, we will add hamzatul qata. So what is how do you know it's hamzatul qata? There is a small hamza sitting over the alif. So this is how hamzatul qata is written in the standard Arabic and in the Uthmani script. So the hamzatul qata is with a fatha here. Now you need to add with the three letters ra, sukun, sin with kasra, and the lam. So I have left lam without any harakas. So the moment hamzatul qata is added in the fourth step, the structure remains the same. There is no changes in the harakas except the sukun on the last letter. So this is how you are going to make command from the four-letter rubai past tense. There is another scale as fa'ala. So here we are dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4 letters. Fa'ala, which does not have a hamzatul wasl or a hamzatul qata in it. So let's see, how do we make a command verbs from such kind of past tense. So now if you see here, we have qabala, taba'a, and sa'ada. So all have the same scale, and in this scale, remember, there is no addition of hamzatul wasl or hamzatul qata. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is to give a kasra to the second last letter and give a dhamma to the harf mudare. These are the two main points how you make a present tense from the fa'ala scale. When you see such kind of past tense with a long vowel on the second letter of the past tense, always remember that you need, when you make it into a present tense, you need to give a dhamma on the harf mudare and a kasra to the second last letter of the fail mudare. And in the amr, there is no addition of the Hamzatul Wasal or the Hamzatul Qata, and the last letter gets a sukun because that is the sign that it's a command now. So in this case, I have given you the stepwise. So first step is to make it into mudare, and you see the harakas, the harf mudare having a dhamma, and the structure remains the same throughout. Only what is the change? The second last letter ba is having a kasra, and the lam is having a dhamma because it's a fail mudare now. But the moment your second step, the moment you go into your second step, what is the step that you want to delete, remove the harf mudare, and now you are left with the original letters of the past tense, that is qab, bil. Now here only the letters you have the same, but the harakas have changed. The ba is having a kasra instead of the fatha, as you see in the past tense. The haraka of the second last letter has changed to kasra, and I left the lam alone because in the last step you're going to give a sukoon over it. So this is your third step. Now here there is nothing to be done, no addition, nothing. Is just that you need to give a sukoon on the last letter, that is the lam. So your command is qabil. Similarly, when you do with the tabi, it's yutabi'u. So giving a dhamma on the harf mudare and a kasra on the second last letter, yutabi'u. And if you want to make the command, remove the harf mudare, tabi'. So it's ba with a kasra and a sukoon over the ain, and it's tabi'. Say with the sa'ada, it's yusa'idu. Ain is having a kasra and dal with dhamma. The moment you make it into a command verb, remove the harf mudare, sa'id. Sa'id, dal will have a sukoon and the second last letter will have a kasra. So remember, this is very important. In the scale fa'ala, as you can see, it is 3 letters, but we have a doubled letter in the middle, that is the ain. In English, when you learn the grammar or read any book, it's called ain radical. But in Arabic, when you read in an Arabic grammar book, it is written as ain al-fail, fa al-fail, lam al-fail. So you can say in English as ain radical, the middle letter. Ain is having a shadda. So the structure of the scale is fa'ala. So any verb, past tense verb that you come across with a middle letter having a shadda, it will follow the same rule. Remember, all we did except the fail thulathi, all the scales that we are doing is giving a dhamma on the harf mudare and then giving a kasra on the second last letter. Then there are scales that there are no hamzatul wasal or hamzatul qata that we did previously. So remember, these are the important points in making the command. So now coming to this fa'ala scale, we have rattaba, allama, qabbala. So here also in this structure, the moment you make it into present tense, giving a dhamma to the harf mudare, and the second last letter will have a kasra and giving a dhamma on the last letter. And in the last step, in order to make it into command, you need to delete the harf mudare and the structure remains the same. The only thing is that you need to give a sukoon on the last letter. So the main step here is giving a dhamma to the harf mudare and a kasra to the second last letter of the verb. So here you can see the first step is making it into a fail mudare. So remember the harakas, a dhamma to harf mudare, ra is still having a fatha, the second last letter is now having a kasra and the ba is having a dhamma. So now removing the harf mudare from here, you get your structure as Ra with fatha, ta with kasra, and I left the ba alone because in the third step you're going to do it as giving it as a sukoon on the last letter, and all the structure remains the same. The ra with fatha, the ta with kasra. So you have your command as rattib. So in case of yu'allim, yu'allimu, harf mudare having a dhamma, ain having a fatha, and this lam will have a kasra and mim with dhamma. So it's alim. The structure remains the same. Mim gets a sukoon. In case of qabbala, yuqabbilu. So it's ba with kasra and harf mudari with dhamma and qaf with fatha and lam with dhamma. So it becomes qabbil. So what do you see in all these kinds of fail mudari? I mean all these command verbs, they come back to the original structure. From rattaba it becomes rattil. Only the second last letter has changed its haraka from fatha to kasra, and that gives you the idea that now the structure has been changed from the past tense to the command verb, and yes, definitely the sukoon on the last letter. In this scale, we have a 5-letter scale, that is ifta'ala. So there is a kasra below the hamza and a fa with sukoon, then a fatha, fatha, fatha on the last 3 letters. So in this example, we will be doing a 5-letter scale and a 6-letter scale, that is the istaf'ala. So in this scale, we have 6 letters, and in this we have a 5-letter. So all these rules are for both the scales. For the 5 and the 6 letter, we follow the same rules in making the command. So let's see, what do we have to do here is istalama, and we have a 6-letter verb istaqbala, and then i'tamara. So this is a 5-letter verb. So we have 2 5-letter verb and 1 6-letter verb. So basically in this verb, when you have this kind of verb and you want to make a command, so here there is a little change in the making of mudare. Up till now we were giving dhamma on the harf mudare. So now in this structure, you see we have a fatha on the harf mudare, and there will be a kasra on the second last letter. So you need to remember that now when a 5-letter verb comes or a 6-letter verb comes, you need to give a fatha on the harf mudare and a kasra on the second last letter. But what happens when you make it into a command? So when you make it into a command, everything remains and goes back to the original structure as istalam. But what is the change? Now the change is the kasra remains instead of the fatha. As you see here, there is a fatha on the second last letter, but after making it into mudare, you changed it into a kasra, and in the command it remains a kasra on the second last letter. And what happens? You give a sukoon on the last letter, and the hamzatul wasl comes back as you saw it in the past tense. It comes back with a kasra. So you need to remember all these changes that takes place. For example, the main points here is prefixing with the harf mudare. As you know, you need to make it into a present tense, and the harf mudare has a fatha. So this is one more important point, having a fatha over the harf mudare. So this is main important point here. The second point is adding the hamza with kasra. So this is another important point for the 5-letter and the 6-letter verb. So this is most important in this scale. And then giving a kasra to the second last letter of the verb and giving a sukoon on the last letter. So I've given you the step by step. So the first step is to changing into a mudare. So when you change it into a mudare, know that a mudare should have a fatha, and all the structures remain the same. the second last letter will have a kasra, and the last letter is now having a dhamma because it's a present tense structure. But the moment you bring in the second step, you bring in the hamzatul wasl with a kasra. And with the deleted ya, of the harf mudare, you have the structure as seen with sukun, ta with fatha, lam with kasra, and I left the meme alone because in the third step you need to remove the dhamma and give a sukun. So in the third step, what happens? You have your structure istalim, and giving a sukun on the last letter would be completing the structure of the command. So in the last step, when you make it into a command, it becomes istalim. So that's how you get your structure. And what about the istaqbala? For the sixth letter, you will follow the same thing. From istaqbala becomes yastaqbalu. So now what happens? Yastaq with the sukun on the qaf, bilu, yastaqbilu. And then what happens? Now you need to remove the harf mudare with the fatha. So you now have seen with sukun, and all the structure remains the same. Just you need to delete the harf mudare and you get seen with sukun, ta with fatha, qaf with sukun, ba with kasra, and lam with dhamma. And now you need to bring in the hamzatul wasl with the kasra. Istaqbil. So everything remains the same, istaqbil. And now you need to give a sukun on the lam. So that's how you make the command for the sixth letter. Coming to i'tamara, you need to make it as miru. So the second last letter gets a kasra and the ra gets a dhamma now because it's the present tense structure. The moment you need to make it into a command, bring in the hamza with kasra, and then put the remaining structure, that is the ain with the sukun and ta and mim and ra. So mir, and ra gets a sukun, tamir. That's how you make the command for the 5-letter verb and the 6-letter verb. So there are another examples on the scale of tafa'ala. We have now 5-letter verbs, and in this case you can see we have tanawala, that is the 5-letter. We have takallama, ta'allama with a shadda letter on the second last letter of the fail. But the rules are the same as you will do with the tanawala. It is very easy in this case. In this type of scale, you have nothing to do with the second last letter having a kasra or the ya having a dhamma. The structure remains the same throughout, even though you add a harf mudare. So in this case, when you see from tanawala making it into a mudare, the ya still has a fatha, and then the structure follows the same except the last letter. As you know, in the present tense structure, the last letter has a dhamma. So the last letter gets a dhamma instead of a fatha because we are making it into a present tense. But when it changes into a command, what happens? We just delete the harf mudare. There is no addition of hamzatul wasl or hamzatul qata, and the structure remains the same with the second letter having a fatha. There is no kasra here. The only change that is the sukun on the last letter, because that's the only point where you will recognize it that now it has become a command from the present tense. So now you see when you come to the next verb takallama, we have the second letter as the shadda letter. And now when you make it into a present tense, you just need to add the harf mudare with a fatha, and then all the structure remains the same. There is no change except the last letter getting a dhamma in the present tense structure. But the moment you need to make it into a command, delete the harf mudare, the rest of the letters have the original harakas, no change in the harakas, only the last letter will show a sukun, that is the sign of the command. So now when we do the ta'allam, it's the same. The second last letter is with the shadda. So you need to add up only a harf mudare. All the harakas remain the same. Fatha, fatha, fatha. And the last letter gets a dhamma due to the structure of fail mudare. And in the command, delete the harf mudare. Everything remains the same. Only the last letter gets a sukoon. So now I have shown you here in the first step what you have to make. What you have to do is make it into a mudare. So here we have taken the verb tanawala. Tanawala means to take. And the first step of making it into command is making it into a mudare by adding the harf mudare with fatha. Remember, by adding a harf mudare with fatha. So when you add the ya harf mudare or any of the harf mudare from the anaitu, so it becomes yatana walu. So you can see the fathas on all the letters are the same except the dhamma on the last letter because it's a present tense structure now. But the moment if you want to make it into a command, what you have to do is delete or subtract or minus the harf mudare only. And now you have tanawal. And I have left the lam empty because your third step should be giving a sukoon on the last letter. And all the harakas remains as same and on all the letters that is left behind after subtracting the harf mudare. So this is very easy. So whenever you come across the scale of tafa'ala, you should remember how you should make the command. These are simple rules that you need to follow in order to make it into a command, and there are different rules in different scales. So you need to remember all these steps for the different scales. Now let's check out the 5 forms of fail amru when the fail amr is attached with the damirs and when the command is used for more than one. So how you are going to recognize when the commands are being used for the plural male or feminine plural or feminine singular male singular. So let's check out. Now let's check the 6 forms of fail mudare. Up till now, whatever command we made in our previous slide, it was all for the male singular. Now, how do you know that this particular verb is for the male singular? It is easy as you check in the past tense for the verbs huwa and hiya. There are no damir attached after that, and the absence of the damir, physical damir after the verb tells you that the file or the damir is hidden inside the verb. So that is the idea you have to apply here in the command verbs. So in this case for the male singular, if you don't see any damir attached after the fail, number 1 point. Number 2 is you see a sukoon over the last letter. So that's the second point. It's a command, and when you don't see a damir outside, know that the damir is hidden inside. So remember, keep this in mind whenever you come across a command verb. Apply the formula of jumla failure. So in a command verb, if I'll, in this case, I'm talking about if I, you have your fail, you have your file, and the file, the damir taqdiruhu ant is hidden inside if'al. So you have your fail, you have your file, look out for the maf'ul bihi, and then after the command whatever noun comes is in the position of maf'ulun bihi. And now let's see if I fail amr. So the fail is the command verb. You have your fail. And damir mustatir anta taqdiruhu anta is the file. So the file, the damir mustatir, which is hidden inside, the anta is hidden inside. As you know, the command, you can only command to the person in front of you. So you can command to the second person, the mukhatib group. So that's why your file is anta, damir mustatir, anta, hidden inside the if al. Similarly, when you go and check for the duals, so how do you know this if ala is a command for the dual? Now, when you come to the commands for other more than one people, there will be a damir attached after the fail. So what is the damir attached here after the fail? The damir attached here is the aliful muthanna, which tells you that you are commanding to two people. So this alif muthanna is the damir attached after the fail. So we have a fail and then we have our file as a damir. For aliful muthanna means the file are two people. Then after that, look out for the maf'ulun bihi. So here if Allah is the fail, amr, you have your fail. Aliful Ithnain is the file, that means we have a fail plus we have a file, and then you look out for the maf'ulun bihi. Even if in a sentence you have a command verb, in the command verb you have your fail and file, so a command verb is a total jumla failure. So now if there is a noun, that means it is in the position of the after the command verb. If you find a noun, that means it is in the position of maf'ulun bihi. It will surely have a fatha over it. Now when we come to see the command for the male plural, you will see the damir waw al jama. So after the fail, you have the damir waw al jama showing that the command is being given to the male plural. So in if alu, we have fail amr, we have our fail, plus waw al jama, we have our file, and then after the file, look out for the maf'ul bihi. As I told you, after the fail and file, if there is a noun having a fatha, it is in the position of maf'ul bihi. So now if you understand, if you come across to do an i'rab of a command verb in a sentence, apply the same formula of jumla failure. So both the fail and the files you will have together in the structure of fail and add it with a damir with it. In the case of duals, you have a damir dual of aliful muthanna added with the fail. Here for the male plural, waw jama added with the fail. In case of feminine singular, the ya mukhatiba comes in after the fail. So this is the damir for the single feminine ya mukhatiba. Now if you have a question, why ya mukhatiba, why not tatanis? Tatanis is the sign of femininity that comes in the past tense only, whereas ya mukhatiba is the sign of femininity which comes in the present tense, that is for the person right in front of you. That's why ya mukhatiba is used in the command. Seeing the ya mukhatiba, know that the command is being given to a feminine singular, so it becomes if Ali. So in this structure, we have our fail if I, and we have a damir ya mukhatiba file. So we have our fail and we have a file ya mukhatiba. Look out for the maf'ulun bihi if there is any. So if there is a noun, you will surely see a fatha over the noun. So this is for the feminine singular. And yes, here in the structure, you will see there is a sukoon over the ya mukhatiba, a sukoon over the waw. Actually, this is a printing mistake. It shouldn't be, because waw is a long vowel and ya is also a long vowel. It shouldn't have any haraka over it. So this is totally a printing mistake. So cancel it. And then we come for Jama Muannas, plural feminine. So the plural feminine, as you know, in the mukhatab, we have the Noonun Niswa. And the proof for Noonun Niswa is that the last letter, I mean the last or the second previous letter should have a sukoon over it. So this Noonun Niswa comes in for the feminine plural. When you want to command to plural feminine in front of you, need to attach the damir Noonun Niswa. So we have a fail ifal plus we have Noonun Niswa damir as a file, and then you look out for the maf'ulun bihi. So in this case, I have given you some examples in a sentence. How do you do your i'rab? Actually, I should have taken a noun, simple noun, but I took a harf jar with it. So one may ask, where is the maf'ulun bihi? So maf'ulun bihi can be in a one noun, can be a noun, or maf'ulun bihi can come in sentence. So in this case, there is the shibu jumla, which is in the place of maf'ulun bihi. The whole sentence is in the place of maf'ulun bihi. So idhab. So seeing the structure here, I forgot to mark it into red. So seeing the structure here, there is no physical damir attached. That means after the ba, that means that this idhab command is for male singular. So the absence of the damir means it is the command for male singular. I'm commanding to a male and it is singular to go to the school. So where is your Jumla failure formula? In idhab, you have your fail idhab. Where is the file? The file is hidden as Damir Mustatir Anta because you are commanding to the male person right in front of you. And where is the Mafulun Bihi? The Mafulun Bihi is the whole Shibu Jumla in the position of Mafulun Bihi. So now seeing the another example is idhaba ilal madrasati. So similar idhaba. So now here ba is having a fatha. Why? Because of the long vowel coming into existence. And this long vowel, seeing the long vowel aliful muthanna, that means it tells you, this damir tells you that the command is being given to two people in front of you. So I'm telling two people in front of me to go to the school. So we have our fail idhab and the aliful muthanna as file, and we have the whole sentence shibh jumla as in the position of maf'ulun bihi. So we have the whole jumla failure. Even if you don't have the maf'ul bihi and you have only idhab, that means it is in itself a complete jumla failure because you have your fail and you have your file. Seeing another structure, that is idhabu. Now in idhabu we have the fail and the file. Where is the file? The waw al jama is the file. And why does ba having a dhamma? Because of the coming of waw. As it is a long vowel, so it will go along with the dhamma on the previous letter. So we have our fail and we have our file as waw al jama, and we have maf'ulun bihi as shibu jumla in the place of maf'ulun bihi. So I just gave these examples to show you how you can know that these commands are for the single person male female or plural male female. So now let's check the command for the feminine singular. Idhabi. Since you can see the red damir ya mukhatiba, so check there is a kasra below the ya. So that's why ba is having a kasra. It doesn't mean that the command verb is changing its structure. The command verb doesn't change its structure. It's mabni. All these dhamma, fatha, and all these changes of the haraka on the last letter are due to the damir coming, not because of the changes of the structure of the command verbs. So remember that. And now here in this idhabi, seeing the ya mukhatiba, know that this command is for a feminine singular. Idhabi ilal madrasati. Go to the school. Even though you don't find the name of a feminine, just seeing the ya mukhatiba, you know that this command is for the feminine singular. The last one is idhabna. Now idhabna, the structure is idhab. The last letter ba is having a sukoon. Why? Because of the coming of the noonun niswa. Wherever you find noonun niswa, the damir for the feminine plural, you will always find a sukoon in the previous letter. That is the proof that this noon fatha is the noonun niswa. That's why idhab comes back in its original form with the sukoon on the last letter. Here, seeing the damir noon niswa, you know that this command is for feminine singular. Idhabna ilal madrasati. That means I'm commanding a lot of female students to go to the school. So this is how the command is for the male and female singular, and then the duals, and then the plurals of male and female. Now let's do the Arab of fail amr, how you should do the Arab when they are attached with the damir. So let's check out that. So the first Arab, when you come across a fail where there is no damir added and the last letter is a sahih letter, so how you're going to do your Arab? It's simple. You need to explain that it is the fail amr. It is no longer a fail Madi or a fail Mudare. Now we are doing fail amr. So you need to give your explanation as fail amr mabni ala sukoon. Fail amra are always mabni, and on the last letter, if it's a sahih letter, it will always have a sukoon. So when you see a sukoon on the last letter and the last letter is sahih, you need to give your answer as mabni ala sukoon. And where is the file? File is damir mustatir taqdiruhu, and so you need to give your answer or Arab as the file is damir mustatir taqdiruhu, and the anta is hidden inside the fail udkhul. So this is the Arab for the fail which is ending with a sahih letter. Now we will do a fail which ends with noonun niswa. So remember, when there is a noon niswa, there is always a sukoon on the previous letter. So this sukoon gives the proof the noon fatha here is the noon niswa. So how you're going to do the Arab when it comes with the noon niswa? So the first thing is fail amr mabni ala sukoon. This is very important because the last letter here is having a sukoon. So you need to explain that point, that it is mabni ala sukoon. Li ittisalahu means and it is attached with noonun niswa. Ittisalat means it is attached with a noon niswa, that is the damir here, and that damir is noonun niswa, damir mabni. Remember always the noon niswa is a mabni damir. It is not the extra noon as you get in the afalul khamsa that is always deleted. But this noon niswa is a damir for feminine plural. It never gets deleted. So don't get confused that this is the extra noon of the afalul khamsa. It can be deleted. No, this is the damir noon niswa. It doesn't get deleted in any position in the sentence. So that's why you need to give your answer that it is joined with the noon niswa, and the noon niswa damir, it is mabni, and it is in the position of file because this noon niswa is for feminine plural showing the file. So zakirna is a command given for the feminine plural feminine people standing in front of you. So that's how you do the Arab when there is a noon niswa with sukoon on the last letter of the fail. Now this is an example for the noon tawqeed. It can be a noon khafifa or it can be a noon thaqila. In case of khafifa, you will see uktuban. Now the last noon, which is the noon of emphasis or noon tawqeed, in this case it is with sukoon. And so now this is a case of noon khafifa. So in both the cases, when it comes with noon sukoon, know that it is the noon khafifa uktuban. So now your command is with noon khafifa. So your fail amr is mabni al fatha. So this point is very important in Arab, as you can check the last letter of uktub. Our fail is uktub, means write, but it is with fatha. So here, why is it fatha? Because a noon of emphasis has come, and that noon is with sukoon. That means this is noon khafifa. So now the command is being made mabni on fatha. So you can read as uktuban. And why it is with fatha? Because it is joined with tawqid, noon tawqid khafifa, and the damir file is damir mustatir ant. So the damir is hidden inside the command, and the damir mustatir, that is estimated as ant, taqdiruhu ant. And in case of noon thaqila, what happens? In case of noon thaqila, instead of noon sukoon, there will be a noon shadda with fatha. So it will become as uktubanna. So the only change in the Arab will be, it will still be mabni ala al-fath. It will still be mabni ala al-fath. اتصلت بنون توكيد الثقيل. So you will only change as الثقيل. So your word will be الثقيلة. Ya and tamarbuta. Lam and tamarbuta. It should be noon tawqid al-thaqila. So with the shadda and fatha, it becomes noon, the heavy noon or of emphasis. So the Arab remains the same, everything remains the same, only instead of tawqid al-khafifa, you need to write tawqid al-thaqila, that is noon, heavy noon. Let's do a case where there is a weak letter at the end. So whenever we come across a fail which has a weak letter, always remember that the weak letter always gets deleted. So in this case, when you see the fail and the last letter here is having a fatha. So remember, when the weak letter drops off or is deleted, the representing haraka tells us which letter has been deleted. So as you know from the weak letter, alif goes hand in hand. You need to check the previous letter. It will always have a fatha. When you see a weak letter waw, check the previous letter. It will always have a dhamma. When you have a weak letter ya, always check the previous letter. It will have a kasra. So they are representatives of the weak letter. So here the alif or the alif makhsura has been deleted. So it left its representative fatha over the ain. So now we have a fail amr mabni ala what? Hasf harf illa. Because here the harf, a weak letter alif makhsura is deleted. And where is the file? If you don't find any damir attached after the ain, there is an absence of damir after the fail. That means our file is inside, hidden, mustatir, inside the fail is a. And taqdiruhu, to whom we are commanding to, always know that when a command for male singular comes, the damir is hidden, always hidden inside, and it is taqdiruhu anta, male singular. So that's how you do your Arab when a fail comes with a weak letter. Now, when a fail comes from an afalul khamsa, remember I told you in afalul khamsa there is a noon extra. So whenever you do anything, these noon extra noons always gets deleted, removed. So when any fail, for example, here we have i'lama. So this is an example of a command for two people. A'lamani. The original is a'lamani. A'lamani. So in the case when we make it into a command, we delete the extra noon, and what remains? A'lama. Meme with fatha, and the aliful muthanna, this is the damir which is left off. This cannot be deleted. So our main structure in the command is with the alif. So this is the damir aliful muthanna which remains, and before that you can see there is a fatha over the previous letter meme. So when a fail comes from the afalul khamsa, what will be your Arab? We have a fail amr mabni ala hadfin noon. So this is the most important point in the i'rab. Whenever you do the i'rab for the fail amr, remember what has been done with the verb. So here in case of afalul khamsa, it is mabni ala hasfan noon, means the extra noon has been deleted, but it is joined ittasalat bil aliful ithnain. It is joined, still joined with the alif damir, alif of muthanna, aliful ithnain or aliful muthanna, anything you can say, damir mabni. It is a damir mabni and it is in the position of fa'il. As I told you, in the command verb, you will see the fail, you will see the file. That means your jumla failure is complete. The fail plus the file. Where is the file? The alif al musanna. Your total jumla failure is complete. And if there is extra a noun after that with a fatha, remember that is in the position of maful bihi. If there is a sentence, for example, I gave you ilal madrasati, so that sentence, the whole sentence as a shibh jumla of jar. So that whole sentence comes in the position of maf'ulun bihi. Remember all the rules of the jumlas coming as a jar and the zarf for the shibu jumla. So now in the afalul khamsa, what do you have? You have the fail and file. So that's how you will do your i'rab for the afalul khamsa. Let's do an example with the ya mukhatiba when the fail amr is attached with a ya mukhatiba. In this case, it's irka'i. So irka'i, ayn with a kasra, just because ya has come, so the previous letter will have a kasra. Even though in standard Arabic you don't find any harakas, you should all know these little detailings that yes, it is irka'i, ayn with a kasra because of the ya. So when it is coming with the ya mukhatiba, what is your i'rab? It is still the fail amr mabni ala hasfan noon. And what is the original structure? It's irka Aina with the ya mukhatiba and extra noons. Because this is from the afalul khamsa, the noon has been deleted, the extra noon has been deleted, and what is left off from irka'ina? Only ir, ka, ain and ya, irka'i. So this is for the command of feminine singular with hasfan noon, and it is joined with ya mukhatiba, and the ya mukhatiba is the damir. You know the ya mukhatiba is damir, it cannot be deleted. It shows that a feminine singular is in question of an action. So muttasil mabni fi mahal raf, it is always in the position of raf fa'il. So in this case, in this command, we have our fail irka and we have the ya mukhatiba as a file. So our jumla failure is complete. The next example is of waw al-jama. Waw al-jama comes in the case of male plural. So now there is an example of aqimus salati. Aqimus salati. So our original is aqimuna with waw al-jama and noon extra. So we have aqimuna. So when the command comes, we will delete the extra noon and the waw remains. And what is this alif doing here after the waw? This is called the alif of protection. It comes to separate this waw, telling you that this is the damir waw al-jama. So it has no place in the i'rab. Aqimus salati. So this is a command to make salah, and irka'u means to bow, bow, ma'al raqain. So this is also a command for male plural, seeing the waw al-jama at the end. And in case there is no harakas on the last letter, what should be the haraka on the meme? Seeing the weak letter waw coming, you should put a dhamma over the meme. Here also a dhamma over the ain. So for aqimu, and same i'rab goes for the irka'u. So fail amr mabni ala hasfan noon. So this is very important, and it is joined with waw al-jama. And waw al-jama is in the position of raf, and it is the file, showing you the file. So we have our fail aqim and the vowel jama as a file. So our jumla failure is complete. So that's how you do the Arab of the command attached with the damir, and we did all the examples with the ya mukhatiba, the alif al muthanna, with the weak letters. Let's do some examples of the command verbs in these sentences. Let's see how we recognize the command verbs. وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ كَثِيرًا. So now in this sentence, we have a command here, وَاذْكُرْ. So seeing the third letter, 1, 2, 3. So this Hamzatul Wasl should have what haraka? If the third letter has a Dhamma, we will give it as a dhamma on the Hamzatul Wasl. So originally it should be Uzkur. Since we have this as a Hamzatul Wasl and you have another letter with a vowel in before the Hamzatul Wasl, and the rule applies here that whenever Hamzatul Wasl comes in between, it is always deleted, omitted, it's not read. So that's why we don't read the Hamzatul Wasl. We will directly go from waw to dhal with sukoon. So we will say as wazkur. So seeing the last letter as a sahih letter having a sukoon, so you know there is no damir attached with this fail. So this command is coming for male singular. So that's how you should know to whom the command is being given. وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ. Now, as I told you that a command verb should always, or it has a fail and a file in it. So uzkur has a fail uzkur, and where is the file? File is hidden inside taqdiru anta, as we know that this is for the male singular. Command is for male singular. So now we have fail and file, means our fail is uzkur and file is hidden taqdiru anta. Now after fail and file, what comes? It's the maf'ulun bihi. So as I told you, after fail and file, look for the maf'ul bihi. The next one is rabba. So this is in the position of maf'ulun bihi because rabba is having a fatha over it. So we have the whole jumla failure, fail, file, and maf'ulun bihi. So that's how the formula of jumla failure is applied here for the commands also. In this case, what is the meaning now? وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ كَثِيرًا means remember your Lord. كَثِيرًا means too much. The second one is idfa billati hiya ahsanu. Idfa. So now in seeing the structure of the verb, the last letter is a sahih letter, no weak letter, and there is a sukoon. So this is definitely a command, and there is no particles before this verb. So definitely this is a command. So no doubt that this verb is in majzoom case or anything. This is a command, definitely. So, and the Hamzatul Wasl is having a kasra. Why? Count 1, 2, 3. The third letter is having a fatha. So it's a rule that if the third letter has a fatha or a kasra, the Hamzatul Wasl will always have a kasra. So that's why it is idfa. And now there is no damir attached after the verb. Absence of damir. So this command is for male singular. Sorry, it's a command for male singular, and the file is hidden inside, and it is taqdiruhu anta. So idfa billati hiya ahsan. Idfa means pay with it. Hiya ahsan, it is the best for you. Ahsan, it is the best for you. Inni ana. So I think this is printing mistake. Inni, indeed I, ana rabbuka fajla. So as I told you, the command is ijla. Why and how do I know it's ijla with a kasra? So the Hamzatul Wasl here, it's the alif here. It is joined with the fa, that is the atf, or here it is the now ijla, the command coming with the command. And if you count 1, 2, and 3, the third letter is having a fatha, definitely our Hamzatul Wasl will have a kasra here. So you will read as ijla, but it is attached with a atf here. So whenever the atf comes, remember the Hamzatul Wasl is coming in between, it will be omitted, and from the atf we will go directly to the Jeem with sukoon. So we will read as faj la. So the last letter is a Sahih letter having a sukoon. There is absence of a damir. So that means this command is for male singular. Taqdiruhu anta. Na'alayka. Na'alay means the shoes of yours. So this is actually the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inni, indeed, ana rabbuka. So you can see two emphasis is coming. Inna and ana. The damir is coming again because now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making it important, an important statement, and trying and also a proof that indeed I am the Lord of the world. So that's why inna and ana has both come in order to give the emphasis on the statement. Inni, indeed I am, Rabbuka, your Lord. Fajla means remove your na'alayka, your shoes. So ijla is our command verb. Qala Rabbi. So now who said here Qala Rabbi? Musa alayhi salam said Qala Rabbi ishrah li sadri. Ishrah is our command. And how do I know it has a kasra? The third letter has a fatha. Remember, it will give the Hamzatul Wasl as a kasra. Now ishrah li means, and now yes, it is coming in between, so Hamzatul Wasl is being cancelled. So we will directly attach the kasra to sheen. So how are you going to read? Qala rabbishrah li. So this is the Sahih letter with a sukoon, absence of damir. So this means that this command is for male singular, taqdiruhu anta, and who is saying this? Musa alayhi salam is making a dua, and remember this command verb is coming as a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because Musa alayhi salam, who is Bashar, is making a request to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember, from the lower rank to higher rank, now it is no longer a command, it is a request, or it is a dua, not a request, but it is a dua. So ishrah li sadri means open my chest for knowledge. Qul ya qawmi. So this qul is the command that means say, and now you see this is the last letter, Sahih letter, with the sukoon over it, and there is an absence of the damir here. So this is for male singular command. File is taqdiru anta ya qawmi. So it is being addressed to the nation. Ya qawmi. I'lamu, another command. I'lamu. So this originally the structure was a'lamuna with the extra noon. So this is from the afalul khamsa, a'lamuna. So when it is a command, the extra noon is deleted and the waw al jama remains, because this is the damir showing you how many people are being commanded. So a'lamu is for male plural. So command is being given to the male plural. I'lamu ala makanatikum means know your places. So i'lamu. Let's do some more examples now. Fas'alu. So we have a command here with fas'alu. As you know, we have the Hamzatul Wasl after the atf, and now it should be is'alu. And how do we know that it is with a kasra? Remember, count the letters. The third letter is having a fatha, so the hamzatul wasl will have a kasra here, but we are going to omit it as there is another letter it's coming in between, so it should be fasalu. And now the last letter is the damir waw al jama. There shouldn't be any sukoon over it. Is the waw al jama, showing that it is a command for male plural. Fas'alu, ask. Ahla dhikri in kuntum la ta'lamun means the one who remembers the Lord, ask them if you don't know. In kuntum la ta'lamun, if you don't know. The next one is waqulna, and we said. Now one may ask that this is a command because there is a sukoon on the lam. This is not a command, as this noon al-fa'ilin damir is the damir for the past tense mutakallim. So this is a past tense attached with the damir saying we said. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying we said ya Adamu. So he is mukhatib to Adam. Ya Adamu uskun. Now we have our command uskun, and since this is a command where you will find the third letter as a kaf having a dhamma. So that's why hamzatul wasl should have a dhamma over here, but we will not read it. It will be omitted. We will straight go over to the seen, from dhamma, meme dhamma to seen. So it's ya adamuskun. And this is a sahih letter with a sukoon, absence of damir. So that means it is a command for male singular, and this is the command for Adam al-Islam. Now, ya Adamu uskun anta wa zawjuka, anta, you and your wife, al jannata. So after that there is a fatha. So you and your wife stay in the Jannah, paradise. Ya ayyuhan nas. So this is the calling particle, harf nida. Ya ayyuhan nas, O people. A'budu. So this is ubud. So this hamzatul wasl will be having a dhamma, since the third letter is having a dhamma, but we will read omitting it as ya ayyuhan nasu'budu. So straight from sin dhamma to ain sukun, nasu'budu, and we have this as a command. Ubud means to worship, and this is a command for male plural. Ubud, male, plural. Ubud, worship Rabbaka. So we have, now you can see we have Ubud, the fail. The file is vowel jama, whereas the mafulun bihi Rabbaka. So we have our maful bihi. Ubudu Rabbaka, your Lord, Rabbakum, alladhi khalaqakum, the one who has created you all. Ya bunayya. So this is the calling particle harf nida for bunayya. Bunayya is the diminutive. That means when you call with lovingly, or for very in age, a youngest son, ya bunayya, irkab. So how do you know it's irkab? The third letter is having a fatha. So it's irkab, but we will omit it and read as ya bunayyarkab, from the fatha straight to ra. Ma'ana means irkab, means riders, or come with us. Ma'ana, come with us. Wala takun, and there is also a command, the negative command. And now when it is a negative command with the la, and this is a particle of jazm, making the present tense into jazm case. So this is not the command verb, but it is a present tense in a jazm case. How do you know it is a jazm case? By seeing the negative particle, the negative command particle, and the present tense. There is still the harf mudare. These are really very important points in recognizing the command verbs. We still have the harf mudare intact with this present tense. Even though you are seeing a sukoon here, it is due to the jazm case of present tense. Okay, so don't get confused that this is also a command verb. Wala takun, don't be. Ma'al kafirin, don't be with the kafirin. So this is the command from Nuh alayhi salam to his son. Urqud. Now this is a simple sentence. Urqud. So now you can see the third letter is having a dhamma. That's why Hamzatul Wasl will also have a dhamma. Now this is the starting. This is the rule. When the Hamzatul Wasl starts a sentence, you have to pronounce it. So now you know it's urqud means to run. Birijlika. Birijlika means with your legs. Haza mughsalun. Mughsalun means something, the shar. Baridun, this is the cold shar. Wa sharab, wa drink, and cold drink. So this is a simple sentence just to tell you that urkud is a command verb with a sahih letter at the end, and there is a sukoon. This shows it's, and there is a presence of hamzatul wasl. So this is a command, and it is a command for male singular. So alhamdulillah, I hope that now after doing all these examples, I hope it's now easier to recognize the command verbs, the small detailings, the attachments of the damir. I hope I have made myself clear in order to understand the command verbs. This is the last slide, and inshallah I will be coming with the last lesson of this level of level 3, that is the majhul case. After the command we will do the majhul case inshallah. Till then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.